NMN is the direct precursor to NAD. NAD is a very, very important molecule in your body. Without it, you would be dead very, very quickly. So it's extremely important. It is the fuel for over 400 different processes in every single cell of your body. And as you age, you have less and less of this molecule naturally, which is why we then see the signs of aging. Now, you cannot supplement directly with NAD because the molecule is too large to pass through the gut. So we use NMN to back it up, to get the NAD back up to youthful levels, because NMN is the direct precursor. Your body turns that into NAD, which is what we need, and then we feel the benefits that way. It's important for the ATP cycle, which is the cycle that makes the energy in the body. It requires NAD to function like a fuel. So if you have less NAD, you have less energy. There's things like DNA repair. Obviously, that's done via sirtuins. So sirtuins are longevity proteins. They go around your body and do the repair work. When you're young, they have lots of fuel, which is NAD, and they're very active. So they do the repair work really well. As you get older, they get less good at that repair work, and they have less fuel with NAD. So in order to help them, give them more NAD, they have more fuel, which means they can do the repairing of the DNA much better. So yeah, when you take NMN, you increase NAD, which then leads to better sirtuin activity, improved DNA repair, and more energy. NAD supplements don't do anything. The molecule NAD is too large to go through your gut. This is a big part of what we do and why we do so much educational pieces, as well as the scientific clinical research. We also do educational pieces for the general public, because, you know, traditional supplement companies, they'll sell whatever people will buy. And so because NAD is this, you know, it's in the zeitgeist at the moment, it's new, it's exciting, everybody knows it's very important. There's a lot of supplement companies that are selling NAD in a supplement, which doesn't actually have any benefits. So it's very unfortunate to see, but yeah, that's part of the reason why we do our education. To say that we don't have any human studies on extending lifespan, because, you know, we've only been supplementing with NMN for 6 years. And so it would be impossible for us to have had that length of time to do those studies, because they take too long. But it has been shown to extend lifespan in mice, as well as reverse the markers of aging. And so we've seen that it reverses the markers of aging in humans. The only thing we haven't been able to prove, purely because of time, is that it extends lifespan in humans. But we expect that it does, because it has the similar effects in terms of the aging markers. There are natural ways to make a small improvement, and they are very similar to what we hear about in most, you know, most general health podcasts. You'll hear about things like fasting and making sure that you exercise regularly and having a whole foods diet, which is very important. There's an increase in processed foods nowadays in our society, and you should definitely try and remove those. Exercise. I'm stood on a treadmill right now as we do this interview, so it is obviously important. However, if we are looking to live beyond 80 years old and still be healthy, because there's no point getting old if you're not healthy, then we do need to have some interventions. Before I got into before I realized aging was malleable, I didn't used to take any supplements. And I think, again, part of that is this belief that we have that it's not natural. Well, you know, it's not natural to be on the phone. It's not natural to fly on a plane. What is natural is for us to, you know, evolution has got us to this point where we die once our young are raised. And so evolution got us to, let's say, roughly 50 years old, somewhere between 40 and 50, because you need to be able to have your young, and then they grow up to be adults. And as soon as they have their young, you've taught them most of what you need. You're then evolutionarily useless. And then that's when we see the breakdown and die. So then we had the advent of modern medicine, which originally was actually quite powerful and a good thing. I think we can all agree now the way the pharmaceutical industry works is a little bit shady, but still there are some good drugs out there and they're very important. And that helped us to extend lifespan, not so much health span, but lifespan for 20 or 30 more years. And then now we've hit this ceiling, and it's how do we break through that ceiling? Well, first of all, we need to extend health span, because nobody wants to be old and struggling with their health. People want to be old and healthy, older in calendar years, but not feel older. And that is where these interventions come in. So for people that want to stick to being natural, that's absolutely fine. But just know that you will suffer the same way your grandparents did: dementia, cancer, and eventual death. I know it sounds quite grandiose, but that's the truth. NAD levels start dipping around 26, 27 years old. But of course, it's not immediate, it's only slight. I started at 29, but I also lived not a very healthy lifestyle before that. I was feeling the effects of aging. I tested my biological age, which is how old your body is, when I was 29, and it came out as 44 because I lived a really bad life. A lot of smoking, a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs. I was making bad decisions. And so I started at 29, and it had a fantastic impact on me. NMN and SIRT6 activator have been really powerful for me personally. But, for a lot of people, if they are super healthy and they do those things we spoke about earlier in terms of perfect exercise, perfect diet, fasting once a week, then they might not need to go on NMN until they're 35. But once you're past 35, it's very, very, very unlikely that you will have a perfectly healthy NAD level, and therefore we would recommend NMN boosters. If anyone's unsure, we have an NAD test kit which comes to your home. You can take it; it's a little pinprick, just a little bit of blood drops out onto the card. You ship that back to us, and within 2 weeks we'll have your results, and we'll tell you your NAD level, and then give you some recommendations. There's not really any side effects that we've seen in terms of people rejecting it, because NMN is a molecule that is in every cell of your body. It's extremely important. So yeah, there's no issues with taking it. It's been proven safe up to about 3 grams a day, which is far more than most people would need. I take 2 grams a day, and that's considered high. But I take that because I'm training for a fight at the moment. So I'm also a professional athlete, a little bit different to what most people would need. Most people just need 1 gram a day. If you already have liver issues, then anything that it has to process is going to cause problems, whether that's a supplement or a food or anything else. But yeah, I mean, if anybody has liver issues, then they should speak to their doctor first. But if you have a healthy liver, then there's certainly no issues. Again, providing the NMN is genuine, because there's a lot of fake NMN on the market. And so obviously, if you have a fake NMN, it's going to be filled with cheap fillers, and that could have a lasting impact on your liver. And so what tends to happen is the consumer would say, I have brain fog, or I feel tired, I have fatigue, or my elbow hurts, or my knee hurts, or whatever it is, right? They have a problem. And then a traditional supplement company will go, oh yes, this product is for fatigue, or this product is for your joints. And the reality is that if you tackle aging, which is what we do, then that fixes the upstream cause of all of these problems. So you fix aging, and then all those things will eventually dissipate. And then you'll feel better in your skin, in your fatigue, in your brain fog, and so on and so on. It's been shown that boosting NAD via NMN supplementation is neuroprotective, so it protects your brain. It improved the mitochondrial function in the brain, reduced oxidative stress, and of course, as we spoke about earlier, it aids in DNA repair as well. It's been shown that boosting NAD via NMN supplementation is neuroprotective, so it protects your brain. NMN has been shown to fight against tumors in certain cancers. The one I can remember definitely is breast cancer. Higher NAD levels we know are associated with cellular repair and mitochondrial function. And so it stands to reason that it would help. But again, we don't have that is human cell data. It's not data in living humans. New industry, so we have a lot of problems. An influencer might post something controversial. Don't take this, it's bad for you. That's just so they can get more views. I understand that. It's the nature of the game. There's a lot of bad actors. We mentioned earlier the traditional supplement companies. They are putting fake NMN in their products. So that doesn't do us any favors. But overall, it's a positive outlook because more and more people talking about NMN, talking about NAD, and they understand that there are things they can do today to reverse their aging process, which is just what we want.